Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Find Your Edge. My name is Jordan Nagoli, and I'm your host today. And thank you for watching or listening wherever you are in the world. I greatly appreciate you guys oh so very much. On today's episode, we have got my man, Angel Martinez. He is the owner and founder of Resilient Tint, which is the best tinting company, window tinting company in Atlanta. He's won many awards. He's a friend and good friend of Theo Walker, who was also on the podcast. So shout out Theo for this introduction. We appreciate you. Angel, my man, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm just glad to be here, and it's an honor to be here. So, how you doing? How you doing?
This is my show. I'll ask the questions.
How you doing? I didn't know what to say there.
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Thank you very much for coming on today, man. Let's start with this. Tell me, what does a day in the life, a week in the life look like for you?
A day in the life of an entrepreneur in Resilient Tint.
Yep.
I think the biggest thing is right now I am still a one-man band. So it's definitely chaotic. And my agenda does the most of the work with me. When I have my agenda in me, we just a lot of marketing, a lot of promotion, a lot of communicating, and then of course doing the labor part. So just a very, very, chaotic control? What's that word or I'm looking for? Like, it's like when you say like organized chaos.
Yes.
Organized chaos. There you go. That's exactly what it is. Organized chaos.
I don't know if that's ever going to change. No matter how big you get, no matter how many people.
How do they say it? More money, more problems.
Yes.
I used to think that was a joke, but then you realize it's like the more successful you get, the more you elevate, the more work it is for sure.
It is, man. It is. And as you continue to get there, your ability to handle that stress and chaos will rise, and the new problems will always arise at the same time. So give the listeners an overview. How would you describe Resilient Tint to someone that is not familiar with it?
So Resilient Tint is planning to be, of course, the best window tint auto styling shop in the industry and in Georgia. So we're aiming high. Why not, right? You aim high, you're going to shoot for the moon, aim and stay in the stars. So that's what we're planning on doing. Resilient Tint offers anything auto styling. So we do wrapping, ceramic coating, window tint. Right now, there's also something new in the industry that's called paint protection film. So we're really diving into that, and we're starting to do a lot more classes to learn and get us involved into that new trend coming in.
Nice, man. Nice. And someone like myself that's not as familiar with the industry, walk me through a day of, like, what's a day of working with these clients look like for you?
A day with a customer would be more. I work out of my garage right now, so I fully decked out my garage to make it the most comfortable and aesthetically pleasing shop for a garage. So you walk into my garage, you can't even tell it is a garage because I've put a lot of work into, again, the decorating. So when they arrive, I greet them. How you doing? Confirm everything that we're doing, that they still want to do it if they have any changes, and from there they sit down and we just put some music, jam out whatever they want to put. They're still in the same area, so it's also like a interactive like tint shop, because most tint shops right now have a waiting area already for the customer, but right now we don't have that space to make a waiting room. So they're right there the whole time with us, just interacting, talking, and just vibing with us while we're just working and decking out their car.
Nice, man. And how old is the business?
The business rate as of now is 2 years and 8 months. So we are 2 years and 8 months into the industry and into entrepreneurship.
Nice. Congratulations, man. What's the journey been like so far?
It's been a roller coaster for sure. It's been a roller coaster. I actually, right now, we went through a very slow time. Since, we're gonna dive deep, right? You say we're gonna dive deep.
Yep.
We're not gonna sugarcoat it and make it look like everything's perfect, everything's easy, because it's not. I actually had when I first started, I started very, very, like, I'm a little spoiled, I'll say that, because when I first started, I started completely like booming. I had a good support system. I got a good community of people that helped me out. So when I first started the business, everyone was supportive, shared it, etc. So I was used to like the business was booming, 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 booming for the first 2 years, and then for the first time in the business, we had 2 slow months continuous, February and the middle, almost all January and February of this year, 2024, has been extremely slow for the business. But same thing as an entrepreneur, you have to figure out what you got to do. So we were innovative. We found out, there's things to do, not just sit there. And that's a big reason why we're also here, because collabing with other hustlers and people that want to continue growing is also an easy way to continue elevating yourself.
Yeah.
So is a win-win for both of you guys.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, man. Was it timing related? Was it industry related? What do you think caused the slow time?
I actually went to a convention. There's actually tint conventions where people from all over the U.S. and the world come together for a convention, and everyone's like business owners, CEOs, etc. of tint businesses around the world. And I actually spoke to people. I was like, hey, so like, are you guys slow? What's going on? Just to get a good idea of what's going on. And literally everyone said the same thing. Yeah, it's actually the slowest it's ever been. And the way I see it, it was an industry freeze. It completely froze out for everybody, even the head honchos and everybody. The big shops that have more, like a franchise almost, they were slow. So it was it was more of an industry thing, and it also doesn't help that when it is a little colder in the winter season, people don't go outside, and they don't go outside and be like, it's cold out here, man, I need some tint. No one does. No one's thinking. No one's thinking about that. Everyone's thinking about just to resolve the warmth. So summertime is definitely, of course, the peak time for window tinting for sure.
Yeah. So would you say that during the slow time, that's when you're like, all right, I have to learn more, collab more, do more marketing? What other ways did you navigate through that process?
I think exactly how you said it, I just had to figure it out. When you're in a slow time, again, instead of just falling down and just kind of being like, dang, like what am I gonna do? Like, just pity yourself. You just gotta just keep finding ways around it. Gotta keep looking around. You have time now, which usually you don't have time.
Yeah.
So if it's slow, use that time for something. So what I did is I took advantage and I just started researching. So again, collabing. I was like, collabing is something I really want to do. And I think collabing in general, in the industry, if people collab, there's no lose situation for anybody, because if you collab, you're getting exposed to their industry. I mean, their community, and vice versa for them. People that know you and respect you in your industry say, oh wow, he's collabing with blank. He's collabing with Force Media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Force Media seems they get recognition too, and they get credited to the same level I'm at. So I just thought that was definitely the first thing to do. Collab. And that's actually I think the way I've gotten out of it, actually, just collabing and exposing myself.
I agree, man. And I think collaborations, it's building a network. It's building referrals. The best way, one of the fastest ways to grow your business is have other people talk about your business. You can do all the marketing, and I'm the marketing guy talking about that, but you can have, if you see an advertisement or you see a friend tell you about the company, you're going to listen to your friend.
Exactly. Yeah, I completely agree.
So when it comes to your business and your growth, how do you think you got into the industry? What sparked this?
That's a question, man. That's a good question. I actually get that question almost every day from my customers. They're like, wow, like this is so innovative, like this is so smart. And they're like, how did you get into it? And I just tell them every time I say it, people don't believe me, but I started this business out of survival. Like every time they're like, hey, how did you do it? Survival. They're like, no, for real. Like, why did you do it? Survival. I needed a way out. I needed to pay my bills. I needed to find a way to continue elevating and just moving up, just moving up.
Yeah.
So survival. That's the only word we need in that.
Tell me about when you say survival. Can you unpack that for me?
Of course, Resilient Tint started in 2021, right? A year after, August 2021, just to be exact, summertime of the year after COVID. And pretty much COVID completely got me in a bad place, as most people did, as it did for most people. I got laid off in every job I had, and I went through like 4 or 5 months of not finding work. And that completely, it took me to a toll where I didn't have any money for my own bills, where I had to rely on my mom to like pay for my side of the rent, pay for my things. And of course, someone that works hard on themselves and is an entrepreneur, they don't like owing nobody nothing, especially money. That's never an option. You always try to find a way out of that. So I told her, hey, help me out right now, but you're not doing this for free. I'm gonna owe you all the money that you're paying, that I'm paying. And pretty much I remember that I couldn't find work. I kept looking. I was working construction jobs. I was doing residential air duct cleaning. I was doing restaurants, but of course restaurants weren't even going big. So only like cooks and Uber Eats and just delivery. So I couldn't find work. And I remember when I was a trainer, I met a guy that was a window tinter, and he was like, hey, what do you do on the weekends? I was like, I was still in high school at that time. So he was like, what do you do on the weekends? I don't do anything, just do my homework, hang out. He's like, why? He's like, do you want to become a window tinter? Do you want to become a window tint helper with me? All you got to do is go around with me and clean windows all day, and the weekend I'll pay you $120, $150 a day. I was like 17, 16 years old. I was like, what? $120 cleaning windows? Let's do it. Of course, Inner Hustler came out. I'm like, let's make some money. So I started doing that. This is before COVID, right? Before COVID. So before COVID, I was doing that for like 2-3 months, and I realized, I was like, man, like we were doing like 3-4 cars a day, mobile, and he was making like per car, he was making like $500. So he was making per day probably like $2,000. I'm like, man, it's $2,000 for tinting windows? That's crazy. I'm only getting 150. Hey, and whatever, it is what it is. He's the boss. It's his business, etc. And I actually got fired. Because, again, I was a young kid. I didn't really take it serious. I was in the mindset of like, when's lunch? When's lunchtime? Are we about to go eat? Like that was I wasn't worried about learning. I was just worried about getting my money and just leaving. So I got fired. And it's the first and only time I got fired. So that's still a flex to me. Not many fired, just once. And yep, pretty much I kept doing my thing. I graduated. I left the boxing industry. I started just pursuing just labor force, and pretty much COVID came, and I needed a way out. And then here's where it gets good. This is literally the story of how it started.
Yeah.
I couldn't find work. I was like, Indeed's not really working out. No one's really answering on Indeed. No one's working on anything. No one's answering. I was like, I'm a Latino, so I grew up going to Home Depot and Target and all that. And in Home Depot, there's always a bunch of like immigrant workers waiting outside for work. And my mom was like, why don't you go to Home Depot and look for work? And I was like, I didn't want to do that, right? To do that type of stuff, you really have to like drop your ego, drop your like, you gotta really be vulnerable to do that type of stuff. But I was like, you know what? I need money. Let's go. I ended up going to Home Depot like at 10 in the morning one day. And I remember that I just told myself, I was like, I'm not standing outside. I was like, I'm not standing out here waiting for someone to come give me an opportunity. I was like, well, I'm just gonna go inside. I'm just gonna go inside Home Depot and just ask people for work. So I ended up doing that. I I started getting some jobs, presenting myself. Hey, how you doing? My name is Luis Angel Martinez. I have construction tools. I have my own car. I have basic knowledge about basic construction. Are you guys hiring? I got some cars. I got some numbers, et cetera, et cetera. I did that for 3 days, and I got some jobs and et cetera. But every single one completely just cut it. Every single job took advantage because they knew I was in need. They could tell I was in need, so they took advantage. I did one framing job because it was the only one that could take me in. Like, oh, you want to start working tomorrow? Let's do tomorrow. So I started working. It was at 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 30-minute break, only $100 in the hot sun in the summer. And I'm like, I told the guy, I was like, look, I'm going to finish this day because I'm already here. I need these $100. But after today, pay me in cash, and I'm out. I quit. Like, I quit, not fired. I quit. So I quit. I was like, I'm done. And he took advantage. He's like, okay, you're done. So we stayed 2 more hours. He made us leave until 9 p.m. So I was in a really bad place at that time, mentally, spiritually. I was probably in a very depressed time. But again, I just needed to keep going. And again, shout out to my mom because she was like, hey, go to Home Depot one more time. I'm like, Mom, no, they take advantage. Every single person just takes advantage. No, go. She dragged me out the house to Home Depot, and this is literally the climax. And exactly, I forget about the story, but it's a very important part. I go to Home Depot. I go inside again. I continue going to people. Hey, how you doing? Presenting myself. Here's a card, et cetera, et cetera. Here's my number. And I get to this one guy. He's on the phone. He's checking out something, and I go up to him, same thing. Hey, how you doing? Sorry to bother you when you're on the call. And then he just I continue doing my thing. He gets off the phone. He goes, hey, give me a second. He gets off the phone and he completely starts cussing at me. Just bursts. And it was a Latino that you could tell has already made it. He already had a big established business, so you could tell he kind of felt entitled. And he started cursing at me, started yelling at me, and I completely just left. I completely looked mid, interaction, him yelling at me. I just ducked my head. I'm sorry, my bad. Sorry for bothering you. He just keeps cussing at me, whatever. And that was it. That was the breaking point for me. I ran outside, couldn't hold myself, cried outside, had a whole moment. It was like a movie, man. All right, here, this is where I do it in effect. Yeah, it was a movie, man. I'm serious. It was like this. It was like I remember I was crying, and I wiped my tears, and I got mad. I was like, can we curse on this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know, is this PG? Is this?
No, explicit.
Okay. So again, I wiped my tears, and I went from sadness to anger.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, man, fuck that guy. Fuck this, fuck that, fuck that guy, fuck everybody. Like, I'm gonna figure this out. I don't need nobody. I'm gonna be a boss. I don't know how, but fuck everybody. I was so mad, man. And then out of nowhere, like a light bulb just clicked on me, and I was like, window tinting. I was like, I don't know how to do it, but I know there's a lot of money, and I know how to clean windows at least. I had like $4 in my account, and with the $4 in my account, I bought a spray bottle. I went right back into Home Depot. I bought a spray bottle and a little knife, and my mom picked me up, and she just found me with a little Home Depot bag. She's like, what did you buy? He's like, oh, Mom, I'm gonna start tinting. She goes, okay. And then that pretty much, that's the beginning of Resilient Tint. So it's definitely crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Is that where the name is from? Resilient?
Resilient.
Like having resiliency?
Yes, but the word resilient tint, the name Resilient Tint came from really just me having a lot of trial and error and a lot of failure my whole life, and continuing to keep coming like a fighter, right?
Yeah.
You get hit, you get dropped every once in a while, wipe off whatever and continue pushing forward. So that's what it was. It came from a teacher of mine. A teacher of mine called me resilient once when I was crying in her class. I'm a big baby, man. I cry in weddings, man. I cry. I cried in Marley and Me. When I saw that movie. Anything, man. I cry in everything, man. So I remember that I was crying about something. I lost a scholarship. I lost a scholarship in high school. It meant the world to me. It broke me. I didn't get it. And teacher was like, "Hey, don't worry, you're resilient." And I was like, "What does that mean?" "I'm not going to tell you. Look it up yourself." And I looked it up and I read it and I was like, "Yeah, I'm resilient. That's me." And ever since then, of course,
It's
on
right
my
there.
wrists, on the wrist, man. You know, when it's on the wrist, you know it's serious, man. So yeah, resilient is, I would say resilient is definitely the word that
Yeah.
shows, number one word to label, like to characterize me, or is that the word we're looking for? The number one word that shows who I am.
Yeah.
Just resilient.
Damn, Angel. Thank you for sharing that story, man, and being like honest and open about it. Because
You got. I mean, that's what we're here,
that's
man.
what we're here
That's why
for.
we're here.
I will tell you, bro. A question that I love to ask people, whether on the show or not, is a defining moment in their life that shaped them.
There we
and
go.
That right
Boom,
there.
right there.
Before I even asked it, you answered that, man. And a lot of times it's a painful, embarrassing moment where when you think back, like, I don't know if that made you emotional thinking back to it, where it's like, it hurts.
Right now, it didn't, because again, I have explained it to many, many people, because I get that question all the time. Like, "Hey, how did you start this? Why are you doing this?" So I tell them survival. "Oh, what do you mean?" And then depending on the conversation, I say it all the time. But it hits me more when like I do a big achievement, or like, and I think about it. And the one that really, the person that really, when we do think about it, is what, again, I grew up with a single mother, so everything is just me and my mom.
Yeah.
So again, shout out Mama Dukes. We'll look at the camera first for that one, Mama. You know, you gotta give Mama Dukes a shout out, because that's the only time I really do get emotional, because she was, you know, when you're with somebody that felt the same thing or was there in that situation, that's when you really feel it harder, because y'all both were there. So that definitely was that was definitely a tough time for sure.
Yeah.
And I just want to say is, like, for example, I think, like I told you, to go to Home Depot and like stand outside and get stared at for just to trying to make a living. It's not like you're out here. There was a time before, even before this, before I did the Home Depot thing, I told my mom straight up, I was like 16, I was like 18, 19. I was like, "Mom, it's been 4 months. I haven't made no money. Everything's not working out." I was like, "Mom, I'm sorry. I'm going to start selling drugs." Like, I have friends, like, seriously, I was like, "I'm going to start selling drugs. I don't want to. It's not the most ethical thing to do, but I'm a hustler. I need money, and this is literally how low I'm getting to, like, my needs to make money." She was like, "Hell no. Go to Home Depot." And that's the whole conversation started.
Yeah.
So it's definitely tough.
Oh, it sounds like you have an amazing mom, man. A strong mother.
I would say resilient.
Yeah.
A
Resilient
resilient mother, I would say. Yes. Definitely she has definitely sculpted and helped me shape in the person I am today. I have very good morals because of her. I would say that.
Yeah. I'd love to go back in time a little bit, because you said you grew up single mother. Walk me back. Where were you born? Tell me about your childhood and where you were born.
I was born in Baja California, Tijuana, Mexico. So I was born in Mexico. I migrated to the U.S. when I was 5 years old. So I've been here almost my whole life.
Yeah.
And I believe that we went to San Diego, and from San Diego we moved immediately to Tennessee. And then from Tennessee, we moved a lot. So it's definitely I have to get a whole little map for you, but we moved a lot.
Why all the moves?
Again, I was very young, so to give you an exact reason, maybe I think my mom just wasn't comfortable, wasn't comfortable where she was at. Maybe there wasn't good opportunities, and she just kept moving. And then we went from, again, just to show you some ideas, I was like an army kid without being in the army, because kids that are in the army, as I've heard, is that they move a lot, because their families have to, they go from base to base, etc., in different states. So it was almost like if I was an army kid, because I never really made connection with any kids, because I was a new kid for almost the beginning of my academic schooling. So I was in Tennessee, Georgia, Kentucky, California, and then we moved back to Georgia, and that's when my mom finally found comfort. I believe in 2010, 2011, and I've been here since.
Yeah. Was it hard to move around that much as a kid?
Not really. I was a kid, and I've always been very social. So you put me anywhere, I'm like, hey, what's up? Oh, cool. You know,
Yeah.
I'll make a vibe anywhere. So it wasn't. I was a kid too. You know, you're not thinking much.
Yeah.
You put some WWE figures in front of me. I'm chilling, man. You know,
Good to go.
we're good, man.
What do you think the work ethic comes from? Did you have good examples for that just as you were growing up?
Growing up, my mother had 2 to 3 jobs a day. I started staying alone at my home. I know it's not the most ethical thing to do, but my mom trusted me to stay alone, and she would work a morning job, get off, go to her afternoon, and then still have a little break, take a little nap, and then go do a night shift and continue. She didn't do it every day, but she did work like that for all of like my younger, like I would say probably from like 6 to 9, probably like 3 solid years of just constant full time. And luckily at that time, my mom made sure I was good though. So she always found time to cook. Mm-hmm. She had like, you know, Tupperware. She had a bunch of food for me. Hey, this is breakfast. This is lunch. This is dinner. So I think that's where I really get the hustle from, is just seeing the grind my mom did for me. And, you know, it's like, you see all that grind growing up, is like, you cannot stay comfortable knowing and seeing that. You gotta keep grinding. You gotta keep grinding. So, yeah.
I agree, man. When I think about like my family, I look at not just my parents, but my grandparents. They're both, they're from Albania, in England. So
Albania.
First generation
Albania.
immigrants to the United States. Yeah. It's Eastern Europe. Most people are
yeah. Is that where Dua Lipa's from?
Yes, good. Yes. That's shout out Dua Lipa for putting Albania on the map. Because the other thing was the movie Taken. Do you remember that with Liam Neeson?
I actually am not a big movie guy.
You're not?
Okay.
Okay.
But I am a big Dua Lipa fan, so, you know. Cue in the Dua Lipa song right here. Yeah.
Oh, you're funny, man.
It's a red flag. It's a red flag with like a black symbol in the middle. Correct?
The flag. Yes, it's
yeah.
the double-headed eagle.
There you go. I know exactly what it was.
Nice,
but
man.
There you go. Albania, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Albania, man.
Shout out Albania.
Continue.
And what I was saying was, I agree with you, because what my grandparents had to sacrifice and go through, and then seeing my parents sacrifice, like, I almost feel like it's expected of me to work hard now. Like there's no other option. You see your parents sacrifice for you. At least that motivates me, and it sounds like for you too, to keep pushing forward.
Of course. Again, yeah, of course. I completely agree.
Do you have a relationship with your father?
My father, actually, I don't. He was in the. This is a whole other thing. This goes. I'm a big martial arts. I like martial arts.
Yeah.
My dad. You want to guess what my dad did as what his career was? You're not gonna get it. Just he lives in Mexico. He still does. He's pretty popular and famous, and he's a local celebrity in Mexico. Do you want to guess what he does?
Boxing related?
No, but he's a luchador.
Oh, wow.
I know. He's a real deal lucha libre superstar.
That's wild.
I know. No one ever believes me, but I think that's where I get all like the fight, like me liking the fighting and all that like adrenaline that comes with martial arts, is because my father is a luchador. Are you familiar with lucha libre? Like the type, like.
Educate me. Very little.
I got you.
Please educate
me. Lucha Libre is the same thing. Similar, like WWE. It's a show. It's an art, but the biggest thing is that they're divided into 2 different groups. You can either put them as good and bad, or you can put them in as the good ones are called técnicos, which is like they're pretty much like all skill and all like good morals, etc. And then rudos, which are the bad ones. Rudos means rough. So pretty much you put them in between those 2, and of course the rudos would get beat up half the time, of course, but they also get to like they do all like the bad stuff, right? Like they like use chairs and just pretty much just they're the villains of the whole show.
Yeah.
So he's actually one of the most popular villains in Lucha Libre. So I don't know much about him though. I do have contact with him. We're just not, unfortunately, not close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think that shaped, like just being with your mom, growing up throughout your life, not having that relationship? How do you think that shaped you into who you are today?
That's that question. I think growing up with just my mother has helped me with relationships, and I mean relationships as in with girlfriends, because if I grew up with a dad, your dad usually shows you like, oh, be tough, don't show emotion, don't cry, etc. And if I didn't have that growing up. So again, I think that also comes back to why I cry so easily. When if you tell me something right now, like for example, if you compliment me too much, I'll probably cry. Just straight up. It's just something that's just me.
Yeah.
But I think that's it's definitely made me more in tune with my emotions. It sounds so fruity to say sometimes, but it's true. It's true. It's just in tune with fruity to society. Let's say it like that.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm glad, and it's definitely helped me make more connections and have a more successful relationship with my girlfriend I have right now, because the same thing. I'm in tune with my emotions. I communicate, and it goes with everything though. So I think it has definitely helped me out to become a better human being.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's fruity, bro. I think it's admirable because, frankly, I actually think it's easier to not share how you're feeling than to communicate. Because if something is good or bad, but specifically bad, if something bothers you, people really struggle with saying stuff bothers you and then voicing it respectfully and appropriately. The way you're describing your mom with the emotions is, man, I was a mama's boy through and through. Like my dad and I joke about it to this day, but I worshiped my mom. Whatever she said, I would do.
It's crazy because people sometimes get on me now and be like, man, you're such a mama's boy. I'm like, yo, you're acting like I had a choice, man. Like it's all I had. Like it's just my mom. Like you're acting like I had a choice to either be with my dad or my mom. Like my mom's all I had. Of course I'm gonna be mama's boy. That's all I had. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of, to me, it's kind of a no-brainer why it's like that.
Yeah, and even them. And here's the thing. I get it too, because you got to have that balance between being emotional and then thinking critically too. Like we can't be controlled by our emotions, but going to the emotional side of things does help you connect with people better and being empathetic with others and sympathetic with others. I mean, that, like doing these interviews, man, you got to care about people. You got to ask questions. You got to care about their life. Being in business, and I'm curious your thoughts on this too, but like if business is just about money and it's so black and white, it's not very fulfilling. And at some point, it's going to blow up in your face, because at some point you're going to come to a situation where it's like, oh, I know the fiscally responsible or the right corporate thing to do, but I know this person is going through a hard time, or I can help this person.
100%. I think that's another big reason why my business has evolved and grown to the level it's at right now, is because everyone can tell that I'm not just doing it for fame or publicity or for the money. It's more because, again, they could tell, like they can just see it when I work on their car. It's just a hustler. Hustler can also be kind of bad, but in this situation, everyone can tell that I'm just trying to make it out, and of course I'm just trying to make a connection and a community while I'm growing and elevating.
Yeah.
So yes, I agree with you. I think that definitely does. It can blow in your face if you're just doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
100%.
I completely agree, man. Jumping back to kind of your timeline of childhood. So remind me again, what age by the time you moved to Georgia you were?
I came to Georgia when I was, I believe, 10 years old, 11 years old.
Keep walking me through that timeline. What do you remember from your childhood that kind of helped shape you? Was school easy, hard for you, friends, things like that?
Schooling wasn't hard for me because I took it serious. I was, probably people will hear this right now and be like, you were that type of guy. But I was the type of guy, like, I did my homework the night before, and the teacher would forget to pick it up, and I'd be like, yo, are you gonna pick up the homework? And everyone would be like, shut up, and I'm like, psh, I did my work. I'm gonna get paid. like I'm gonna get my grade for it. And that was me, like, in school. That was the type of, like, student I was. I wasn't annoying. I wasn't but like that type of, like, if I did my work, I want to, like, again, the way I said it, I didn't even realize how I said it, but it's like, yo, I did my work. I want to get paid. So it's like, think about it. It's like, so it's like, look, just because you guys didn't do it, just doesn't mean I'm gonna sit down and get a 0 because of you guys too. No, yeah. I'm gonna get my grade. I'm gonna get the fruit of my labor. And again, you're like, it's not like I'm doing something bad. Like, we all heard it yesterday. Do your homework. Gave it to us. Do it. And if you didn't do it, that was on them. But I think that definitely started molding me to become an entrepreneur and work hard to grow.
Yeah.
That's funny. Probably my friends right now I remember that, man.
Listen, man, you're getting paid with your grades. That's how you got to make it.
Yeah, man. That's a high school. That's how you do, man. You got to pay. You got to work.
When you were at that age, like a teenager or a kid, what did you think you wanted to do with your life at that point?
I wanted to become a massage therapist. Super random, but yeah, just a massage therapist. Massage therapy helps people feel better, and of course, I have a very soft soul, and I just wanted to help people out. So I was like, massage therapy would be what I want to do. Massaging and helping people feel better. I think that would be the thing I would want to do, and I just didn't end up doing it. I guess it just kind of got postponed. My childhood, like, when you were in elementary school, I wanted to be a firefighter. Mm. And that's still a goal of mine. I think my goal right now is to blow up my business, make it sustainable without me being there. Still show up when I need to, etc. But I want to still fulfill that dream of mine as a childhood dream, and I think I can do it just because, again, I keep using the word, but I like to hustle. I like to work hard, and same thing. I'm a fighter, so hustler, fighter, etc. That sounds like something a firefighter needs to have, traits to have to be successful and do an impact. And of course, I wanna. I tell this every time. I want to die. I want to die a hero, one way or another. I want to die a hero. And if of course, if something happens, I want to be remembered as a hero.
Yeah.
So that's one of my main goals.
Do you know any firefighters right now?
I do.
Yeah.
I know 2. I'm not really friends with them like that, but I do know of them. I actually was a boxing coach for an event that was cops against firefighters.
Wait, which one?
It's
not Cobb County, was it?
No, it was. I don't know what it was, but it was called like hoses versus something. Hoses and something.
What year was this?
It's just the World Cup was going on, 2022.
Because I filmed an event called Smoking Guns with Cobb County firefighters and police.
It wasn't Cobb, but same thing, similar like that. So I was a box coach for one. That's and cool. It was cool. So I met a bunch of people, and they definitely got like some friendly fire. Cops and firefighters don't really,
friendly fire. Angel, they hate each other. Okay, let's cut the shit there. All right, at least the one I was at, it was.
Oh, it was bad.
Violent, yeah.
Okay, well the one I wasn't. It wasn't that bad.
Okay,
at the end of the day, they all were saying the same thing. Like, hey, like we're just giving each other shit. Like, but like in general, we wouldn't be able to do their job. They wouldn't be doing our job. So like we work together. That's the energy that event gave.
You know what? I should clarify. It was the families of the firefighters and the police.
Wow.
It was a few thousand people there, man. They got way too drunk. People were getting removed. Fights were breaking out. It was, frankly, an atrocity. It was not.
Okay. It sounds like it was. Yeah, the event I went to was a little more wholesome, and at the end, everyone was like, like it was.
It was a great event, and I don't want to talk bad about this because we're just gonna go live on the internet. But everyone there knows what I'm talking about. It was a rough experience. We were getting cussed at and yelled at.
Oh,
with the
really?
cameras. Oh yeah, people like, get the fuck out of my face, get out of here.
Well, you're just doing your job, bro. It's
Oh
like-
yeah, I turned around and I was like, if you guys talk to us one more time, like we can step out here without these cameras. Like, and
Oh, it was that bad? It was that bad?
yeah, you're not gonna talk to me and my team that way and get away with it. So
You talk to Force Media like
yeah,
that?
bro,
That's
yes,
crazy.
yes. And we were there on behalf, but regardless, not to get on too much of a tangent.
I can feel it. I can feel the disrespect already.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I can feel it how you're getting. I'm like, oh man, they really did it like
and
that.
I'll tell you why, because representing my company, I've got no problem. Look, man, people are gonna disrespect you. And what I was taught is like, just because someone tries to initiate something doesn't mean you should always react. Because I have a very aggressive and violent personality, so I would always react and start fights when I was younger. And that's not okay, especially now that I have a black belt. I got to represent my school properly.
Yeah. You got
I'm a married man. I got a business. Like, my wife would kill me.
You got too much to lose, man.
But
Too much to
when
lose.
people cross us and disrespect my team or put us in danger, it's like, well, you've crossed a line here. And we were there on behalf of the event. It's not like we were just random guys there.
That's horrible. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy.
So when you said that, I was like, well, were we at the same event?
No. I think I would have saw that by then. That's crazy.
Oh,
man.
you would have seen it.
I
Yeah.
tell people, I have this quote that I say as a joke, but it's definitely has become like a normal thing I say when something happens, like when people throw hate or like,
Yeah.
I just tell people, I tell this to my girlfriend, like, hey, like, how do you take, like, this person is saying this about me, blah, blah. I'm like, fuck them kids. Just fuck them kids, man.
Fuck them
It
kids.
doesn't matter. It's just a quote, but like,
Yeah.
that's literally like if there's like some drama or something like that, fuck them kids, man.
Are you
It ain't
more of a
worth it.
relaxed personality, like you can let stuff go, or do you hold on to stuff easily? Because I hold on to things, and I'm working on letting that go.
I think I'm very I don't hold grudges often.
That's
I don't hold grudges often. I won't talk to you. I will, continue pushing forward. I won't talk to you. I won't talk bad about you. But you're gonna know by my energy that we're not good. But I respect you.
Yeah.
And if I have to talk to you, if I have to do something, I will. But the energy is still gonna be kind of professional and just casual. There's no friendly anything. Like,
Yeah.
it'll just be straight professional. How you doing? Blah blah. We need to do this. Cool. Good. On our ways.
That's smart.
But
Yeah, man.
it's-
Protecting your energy, it's important.
got to, man. That's what I'm saying.
I've been working on that over the years. Meditation's really helped me with that, like being calm, letting things go. But like I said, man, I'm an aggressive guy. So like if someone hurts me or hurts someone else I love, I want to get revenge. And that is not like, I don't know about you, but sometimes I've got an angel and a demon in my mind. And it's like, all right, I know the right thing to do, but I know what I want to do. And it's balancing those two.
Of course. It sounds like just as long as you have that self-awareness about it, self-awareness.
It's key.
Here. Self-awareness, man, for sure. As long as you have that, I think you're good.
Yeah.
I think you're good. I definitely think you're good.
Jumping back to high school for you, you mentioned that you lost a scholarship. Was that in high school?
The scholarship was in high school. It was in high school, and it was during my junior year. I wasn't even a senior yet, but again, it was called the Posse Foundation. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
It's pretty much like the Gates Millennium.
Yes,
So
I have
pretty
heard
much-
of that.
Yes, is one of the most famous scholarships out here. Gates Millennium pretty much gives you the opportunity to go to school wherever you want, full ride, tuition, etc., dorm paid, etc. That's the best, top of the top scholarship. Posse Foundation was the same thing, but the only catch was that they choose where you go to school. Like, you don't have a choice where to go. They choose that for you, but you choose your major, you choose everything else. They just choose where you're going.
Interesting.
So I was like, not everything's gonna go the way I want. You never know. Destiny might send me to Idaho, and I might might take me to the middle of nowhere. But it might change. It might make me grow. Whatever. I was like, cool, whatever. I was a junior, beginning first semester, and this scholarship went all the way. Like, we went to do group interviews, so like it it was a group interview of like 250 kids in like a room. We had a little name tag and everything, and it was like, yo, like they put us to do work, and there was like a bunch of like professors around. It was weird. It was like a Hunger Games like Mr. Beast video type of thing. Like there was a bunch of people just around us just watching with clipboards and just whatever they were looking at, and they're like, hey, put yourselves into groups of 10 and work and make a model for blah blah blah. So you had to. Everyone was like being really fake because everyone's trying to stand out, but trying to like not do too much. And it went from 250 to they dropped like 100 kids, so it was 150. And then like pretty much it just went down to like the last 10 kids. And I was actually in the top 10 kids from 250 kids. But these group interviews were like 2 months durations. So it took almost a year and some change to get to the top 10, just to not even make it to the just to completely just crush you at the end. So it's like get so far and not get nothing out of it. And the worst part is at that time I was still working with my visa because I did get here from Mexico. So I was working on my visa. So ironically, the 5 kids that did get it, you know, I'm not gonna throw any shade or anything, but just the way it looked and the way it was. The 5 kids that did get the scholarship were all technically U.S. born. Everything was right. And the other 5 kids, I'm still pretty in contact with them. They were refugees. They were undocumented. But the scholarship said it from the beginning. It doesn't matter what social status you have or anything. You're in the same playing field. But at the end of the day, everyone that got chosen already had everything technically in the files in the system. Yeah. If you catch what I'm saying.
I understand.
So that completely broke me. And
how old were you when you got the news you weren't gonna get it?
I was like 18. I was just about. It went from junior year to almost the beginning of senior year. So I went from having it all. Like everyone was like, "Yo, you're gonna win this. You're gonna win the scholarship." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna win this." Like I'm like, I went from 250 to 10 kids, and definitely an interesting time and definitely something that has that got me to where I'm at because, you know, same thing. I was going to school and then I had to leave early sometimes because I had to drive my mom had to pick me up and go 2 hours away to go to these group interviews because they weren't like down the street. They were like 2 hours away, et cetera, because they were kids from all of Georgia that were coming to this stuff. And I'll never forget this, man. I don't remember the kid's name, but I remember the moment. The final interview, they brought kids. They brought the 10 kids and their family to like interview the family. That's how deep this was. Like they were like they want to know who you are, like if what you're saying is true. And man, all these people came in with like everyone. They had a big like at least 5 people every single one, and I only brought my mom. And I remember hearing the parents say what they did, and I was like, man, it was definitely an achievement, and I was proud to stand there in front next to the other 9 kids because the other 9 kids, all their kids were their parents were like lawyers, their parents were sheriffs of a department, big law firm, corporation CEOs, whatever, just pretty much big head honchos already of their industries. And then they got to my mom. I remember that like she presented herself and she was super nervous because she's never had to do anything like with a mic or anything. And then she also has broken English. She doesn't speak English like that compared to everyone else that was there. And I remember that she like completely just got starstruck and just completely in front of everybody. I'm just looking at her. I'm like, you got it. Just say your name, you know, like. And then she's like, hey, my name's Sandra Martinez. I'm Angel's mom. I'm like, that's not what you have to say. And then she's like, thank you. And she didn't say her title or anything. She pretty much, my mom was she's a killer in the what's it called, the kitchen, like in the kitchen, like in the restaurants.
Yeah.
My mom can do it all. She can prep. She can do inventory. She can do it all. She's a kitchen manager without the title, pretty much. But you know, she didn't present herself like that, etc. We had an interview. They did a last interview for the 10 kids. And the final part, this is the part I will never forget. they gave us a moment when they were deciding because they were going to decide that same day. They gave us like 20 minutes, but they only left the 10 kids. They only left us 10 in a room. And I remember that like everyone was like, hey, do you think you're going to get it? How do you feel? Blah, blah. And there was this snotty kid. I remember it was like, to be honest, I don't even care if I win this because my parents can pay for this. My parents can pay for this anyway. So like, I don't really care if I even win it. I remember hearing that, man. I just boiled, just got me boiling, man. I'm like, I didn't say nothing, but man, in my head, I'm like, bro, like, why are you here, bro? Like, why are you here? Like, if you can, you know, you're taking someone's opportunity away that actually needs this opportunity, not just mine. Like, if I don't win it, I would want someone that still needs it and actually is going to take advantage of it to win it. And this guy completely just, I don't even need this thing. Like, I'm just here just kind of, if I win it, I'm like, bro, like, and to make it worse, he actually won it. Bro. Oh, man.
Taking someone else's opportunity that actually needs it.
Man. It's just the fact that he was so, like, snotty about to even say it to us. And no one seemed to care except me.
I wonder what he's doing right now.
He probably has a good job now. I mean, he comes from, you know, two hardworking parents that, you know, gave him a lot of connections and, you know, gave him the stairway to success. So, I mean, I'm not going to say, oh, he's a bum now. No, he's probably doing pretty well for himself. But, you know, definitely snotty for sure.
How did you navigate after finding out that you weren't getting it? Because I feel like your path was more set for you. Like, you're going to have this scholarship. They're going to tell you where to go and just rip from under you.
I went through a bad time. I completely didn't care about school no more. I was like, this is dumb. I went a whole year or something just for them to take it away from me because my status is still pending.
Your visa status?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My visa is still pending, and that's just because of a documentation I'm not going to have. I got treated different, etc. And I completely started skipping school. I started going to class but not even paying attention. I wouldn't do my work. I wouldn't study. I went like 2 weeks of really bad, like, rebellious behavior. And then again, shout out to my mom. My mom completely took everything away from me. They called her up to come to the school, and they told her everything I was doing. And I got home, and oh man, she beat the brakes out of me for sure. She beat the brakes out of me, and then she took everything away from me. When I say everything, I mean everything. Like, anything enjoyment I liked at that time. She said, until you get yourself back up, you're not doing nothing. And I remember she took away my PS3 at that time. Took away my PS3. She took away. I had a laptop. She didn't take the laptop away, but she took the Wi-Fi cable. She took it to her to work. Just snatched it off the power cord. So she left the router. She left there, and she just took the power cord. I was like,
that's a cold parenting move right there.
Yeah, she just took it. And again, she wouldn't let me outside. She wouldn't let me outside, like, go play outside with the kids in my neighborhood. Wouldn't let me do that either. And if I did go outside, because again I was alone, she had like a bunch of like neighborhood, like a neighborhood watch over me. So if I was outside, someone would call her or tell her that I'm outside, and I wouldn't hear the last of it. So she definitely got me back on track.
That's good, man. You have a great mom.
She's
I've said that I think 3 times now.
Yeah. She's done a lot, man. She's definitely done her job as a mother. But again, also the teacher. That's when I was going through that tough time. She was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, why are you cutting up? What's happened? What happened? I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone. What happened? Leave me alone." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I don't want to talk." She's okay. I just want to tell you that you're resilient. And that's when the story. I'm like, and I remember that I was like, what does that mean? What's resilient? She's like, I'm not going to tell you. I want you to look it up. That's you, though. I was like, but at that time I didn't have my phone. I didn't have nothing. So I had to wait until I got home to look it up when I got my phone back from my mom. And then I looked it up, resilient, like, same thing. I was like, that's when it changed for me. I was like, fuck yeah, that's me, resilient. And then ever since then, I got back like I never left, rolling, and I haven't stopped since.
Damn, man.
Can you drop this mic?
Well, I'll tell you why, man, because I've been fortunate to do so many interviews with people and learn about their lives. And that sounds like a painful experience because at that time too, because you're 17 or 18, that was your whole world.
School was my whole world.
That was it. That was the next phase of life. And from majority of society, they tell us you got to go to college, you got to get a degree to succeed. So I can only imagine how scary that was too. We're like, man, I lose this scholarship. I don't know where I'm going to go now. I'm frustrated. And understandably, as a teenager, you only can process so many emotions at one time. But it sounds like it sharpened you and not hardened you in a bad way to where you're like angry against the world, but like, all right, this toughened you up.
Yeah, for sure. I think it definitely made me understand that life is not going to be easy. And that you just got to keep pushing and finding another way. And academically, it wasn't going to happen after school because after that, I graduated. I did try to go to school again. I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I don't need no scholarship. I'm going to go to community college.
Yeah.
And I went to community college. I graduated with a 3.9 GPA.
Nice.
3.9 GPA with, I did varsity wrestling. I forgot to say that. That's a whole other thing. I did varsity wrestling. Varsity cross country, and then I was like in every club.
Damn, so you got the wrestling boxing combo.
Oh man, I'm ready for anything.
Bro, you're ready to fight.
I'm ready for anything, man.
That's a dangerous combination. I love that.
Man, ground and pound for me, man. That's Oh man, I did a little bit. So yeah, I have like a year. I made it to regionals, and I made third place because I got disqualified. Not because I did anything. I dislocated my shoulder in the event, the match before, it was like a tournament, regional tournament, and I made it I was going to fight for second and third, and I ended up getting third place because I got disqualified. I couldn't continue. So the guy got second and got to fight with the first and second guy. For second place.
What teachings, values, lessons have you taken from boxing / wrestling into your business and life today?
Just because of fighting and martial arts, you always got to find, that angle. You always got to find that angle. You got to find that angle to strike at. And I think that's the same way I use it for business. Like, you just got to look at a different angle. Peek over here, look over here, and you'll find a way out. You'll find something. You'll find that opening. And the same thing I did. So again, I went through a tough time, and I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna, it's slow right now. Let me change this angle. Let me change my perspective real quick. And again, now we're here. Force Media. Now we're here.
I love that. And that is ironic because even with videos and cameras and stuff, like it's all about the angle. It's whatever angle you take it in.
That's true. 100%. I myself like videography and photography.
Yeah.
I just don't do it right now, or don't even try to get into it just because of how much, you can't be doing everything. That doesn't work out.
Yeah.
That doesn't work out. You need to focus on one thing, and when you master one thing and get that going, you can do something else.
Yeah.
But I do my own videos, I do my own editing and all that.
I love the content, man.
Thank you, man.
And I mean that. I'm not just saying it.
I try again, think out the box, and keeps my creativity going. And again, that's why I have learned that I like videography and photography.
Yeah.
So definitely fun.
It's amazing when you run a business too, you start to see how many things, because man, when I started Force Media, I didn't even have any videography. I didn't do photography, anything like that, but you gain skills and you find new passions and things that you love over time. When I was doing research for the interview, I was looking at a lot of your Instagram posts and captions, and there was two that I pulled that I wanted to reference and have you talk about. One was, it was you standing outside ready for a movie premiere, and I'll just read the caption. It says, "I'm honored to attend the premiere of one of the most anticipated immigrant story movies in the United States. I was truly moved by the scenes. I have never felt a movie so close to home in my life. It truly reminds me of the hustle and struggle it took to get where I am today. What else can I say? I love my story. It has molded me to the man I am today." Can you speak on that for me?
Damn, man, I didn't think you were going to bring that one out. I forgot about that one, actually. It was the movie it was a biography of the owner of Hot Cheetos, and he pretty much started as a warehouse. He started as in the warehouse of Frito-Lay. He was just a. Do you know the backstory of his?
I don't, but I'm gonna watch this after this
Bro,
interview.
this movie is very impactful. But he started as a again, he just started working as a worker in the warehouse, and again he started thinking, he's like, yo, like these are kind of too like he would get to bring home Frito-Lay's like chips to his house, and his kids didn't really like it, so he just started kind of messing around with it, and that's pretty much how he started. Like he put some hot sauce on his own little thing, and he made them pretty much flaming hot, and he started pushing it and pushing it and pushing it at the warehouse, and he just got pushed down a lot, like, yo, get back to work, stop wasting time, stop doing this, stop doing that. And he just kept pushing, he kept pushing. And it got to the point where his determination to at least get a response from somebody, they finally took him serious. And at the end of the movie, like you can see him walking in the IG post I posted. I posted a video of a clip of the movie, and the movie at the end, it's just at the outro of the movie. He's at dinner with like his wife, and he's already made it. He's already flaming hot Cheetos is now worldwide, etc. And he's at a restaurant. He's just giving out like cash tips to every worker in the restaurant. So he gave it to, of course, the server. He went to the back and gave it to some of the chefs. He gave it to the receptionist. He gave it to the janitor, the custodian, the valet. He just gave it away, just by like walking casual. Here you go, good. And then the movie ends. Like he just like it just dips out, and the whole time he's just like, it doesn't matter where you come from or whatever. And it just definitely, I saw that, I was like, I can see myself doing that. I can see myself just, I want to give back. I want to change people's lives, and especially people's lives that want to continue moving forward. So. That movie, just watch it.
I love that, man. I'll watch and I'll let you know. I'll shoot you a text.
It's good, man. It's good.
That's special, man.
It's very special. I completely forgot about that movie. I got a special 1-of-1 candle.
Yeah.
From it. It's literally. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you. I'll take a picture of it. It's literally just a regular candle, but it has like the cover of the movie on it.
That's dope.
1-of-1, yeah, because of a movie premiere. So that's cool.
Yeah. That's a special experience, man. And that's why I think like the power of movies and cinemas and stories, because a movie is a story, and a story can impact you and keep that motivation, and you constantly pull from it. It's like a bank of inspiration that you pull. At least that's what I do.
Have you guys ever produced a movie or like a small movie film?
So I personally have not. I've done documentaries. Allie, that you met in the other room, she wrote and starred in her own film. She's an actress as well.
Oh, okay.
So she did a short film that has been in some festivals and contests.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying because I really think if, and maybe in the future, if you know somebody or something, I think I would definitely think even a short film of of the beginning of Resilient Tint, just the story.
Yeah.
I think that would definitely impact a lot of people, and I think that would do. Of course, if you do a short film, the point is to win something, but the biggest thing is also to impact people. So I really think that just the story and having a visual of it, I think it definitely will impact people in a way that more than we can think right now. I don't know. I don't know if you're down for something like that, or you know somebody, but I think I definitely think that'd be. I'd always be down for something like that. I also did something in high school. There was a lady that came. It's called Greenhouse. She had a book that she was writing, but it was a biography about immigrant high schoolers that came from all around the world, and they just talk about their story. She came, and there was a whole meeting, and everyone was there, and I was like, I went to the meeting. I was like, cool, let's see what this is about. And I got discouraged, right? I was like, kind of like when I was hearing the meeting, she was like, like, hey, like, just talk about your story, your hardships. In my head, I'm like, my story isn't really valuable. Like I haven't done nothing crazy. And then the only reason I did it, I'm actually technically a book author because I'm in the book. But the only reason I even did it is because she's at the end, she was like, look, I know most of you guys are discouraged to say this or to do it, but you have to think about it like this. Your story is boring because you lived it. Mm. And when she said that to me, I was like, damn, she's right. I was like, sign me up. And I went to do a bunch of book fairs and stuff. I went to the Decatur Book Festival, and I was a guest speaker and guest book reader. I got to do, I did like some autographs, like I signed my own books and stuff. It was cool, man.
That's so cool, man. What a unique experience.
It was amazing. It was amazing for sure. And again, I tell people that all the time now. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you know people that would be down to do something like that, I would definitely like to do something like that, or like put my, help out for something like that. 'Cause I think that would be impactful again.
Yeah. No, we can definitely talk off camera too, man, because I got a lot of ideas. Because we've done 2 documentaries for my karate school, 1 short film on something called Kangeko, which is the first workout of the new year, and then like a 30-minute film on their karate summer camp. And so a lot of time and energy put into that. So yes, we'll definitely, we'll definitely talk about it off camera. Another thing that I wanted to ask you about from your Instagram as well, this one is from when you were celebrating being 2 years in business, and you said, 1 month away from celebrating 2 years self-employed, and I can honestly say I am blessed to be in my situation. Don't ever let anyone crush your dreams, because as long as you have the right mentality, you will always find a way to make it happen. That's what it means to be resilient every day.
What was the question again? I'm sorry. I just heard myself and I'm like, did I say that, man? I'm a poet, man.
Less of a question, more of just speaking on that. I have some follow-up questions, but celebrating the 2 years, being self-employed, never letting anyone crush your dreams.
I just, again, exactly how the caption said, you just kind of fuck them kids, man. Just simple as that. Like fuck everybody's opinion about what they think you can do. And I have a joke, as you guys know, with you guys know that joke, like, oh, he's him,
yeah,
et cetera, et cetera. I started making that joke with my girlfriend. I was like, hey babe, I'm Himothy. So I'll be like, call me Angel Himothy Martinez. And she sometimes, something messing around, she still calls me that now. And it's just a joke, pretty much just being like, just, I got this, like, and you just have to really just believe in your vision, believe in yourself, because the same thing before same thing like with Force Media, before it got to this and people want to come do your podcast and all that, you had to see the vision from your apartment before. Again, now everyone's like, yo, congratulations, yo, wow, etc. But it took a lot of work and it took a lot of mental battle to continue getting to where you are now.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I love that, man. No, I love that. One thing I wanted to tell you about, and you actually inspired me with this, because when we met a few months ago, we were talking on Instagram and texting. I was looking you up and doing my research. Couple things. You had a celebration party for 2 or 3 years in business. You printed off some plaques of you being interviewed in different magazines.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed me that it's really important to celebrate the wins in your life, no matter how big or how small. Where does that come from? Because I do a terrible job of it. And I kid you not, man, after seeing your stuff, I was like, man, I need to get stuff printed for the office. I need to have a celebration. Like, we need to celebrate more. And I'm just curious where that stems from.
It stems from me being very hard on myself. I'm very hard on myself. Again, but I think anybody that's successful is.
Yeah.
Because blank is never enough. It's like, this is nice, but we can always do better. This is nice, but we could have done this better, etc. So I'm very hard on myself, and I just realized, I was like, you have to find the wins. You have to enjoy the journey, because I told my customer yesterday, I was like, the way I'm going and the way my business is going, I'm gonna make it to the top. Simple as that. One way or another, I'm gonna have a successful business that's gonna elevate and build a strong community. But the biggest thing is that this is a journey. The journey is 100%. You need to enjoy the celebrations. Like, for example, how much would you say? How many podcast interviews have you done already?
Over the years, man, hundreds.
So you should be celebrating every 100, every 200, 300. nothing crazy, but you can still do something like even going out to like a cigar lounge and smoking a cigar with the whole gang and getting a couple cheers in. Boom. That already, it motivates everybody. It makes everyone feel. I don't even have a crew yet, but I'm just thinking about it like, like that's why I think it would be good. And it's harder because again, when you are, the face and the founder of a business, because I'll give you some props, man, because I don't know how your crew thinks about you, but it's hard to like, again, be a partner, be a son, be a friend, be an entrepreneur, and then still have time to even, because you still gotta take care of your people.
Yeah.
So it's hard to even have that, that balance. So I think it's very important that you should have more appreciation for your crew, what you're doing, because it definitely takes a lot to do this.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because I don't know much about business. I'm learning as I go, but like me starting to have more success and more opportunities, there's more money involved, there's more money I'm spending, etc. I'm just kind of like, man, like what I just paid for. I got an auto pay text message in the morning right now from Xfinity. I paid like $120 for home Wi-Fi. I'm like, sheesh, man, I forgot about this bill, man. $120. It's nothing crazy, but like when you know 120, that's a little jab in the face, man. That's a little punch in the face. You're like, oh, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
And same thing. So having a whole shop and everything. Again, you should even be celebrating. Again, there's more things to celebrate when there's a whole group.
Yeah.
But I think definitely, I just think it motivates everybody. I think it motivates everyone. It gives everybody a sight of growth,
mm-hmm.
a sign of growth, and it shows everyone that they're appreciated.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that, man. That's every time whether I'm doing interviews for Find Your Edge, this podcast, or interviews for videos we're making for other clients, like I always learn something, more than something, a lot of things from each person I interview. So that's something I really took away even before we talked, and just hearing you break that down, because similarly, we have a lot of similarities the way you've described your personality and life. I'm very hard on myself too, and it's part of what makes me good at what I do. But this is probably the best version of myself at it, which is being content and happy with where I'm at. It's always like, no, I got to get to that next thing. I got to get to that next thing.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard, man. Very hard.
I had someone ask me recently, like, what's the goal for Force Media? Like, where do you want to take it to? And I have revenue goals and I have people and things like that. But the journey really is the reward for me. I like working. I like learning and growing, meeting new people. So it's a beautiful roller coaster of a life. For you, what do you think? Two questions before we wrap up. What do you think is the worst investment or biggest thing that you've learned in business so far, where you're like, oh man, that either stung financially, that was a mistake, or that was a painful learning lesson with a client, or just anything where you're like,
the biggest painful thing I guess I've learned is I cracked the windshield on a customer's car when I was first, like probably like 8 months into the industry. And when I did that, it was a 2023 Camry Sport. It was one of the newer ones, and it was one of those that had like the smart windshields, not just the basic ones that has like the weather technology, just a bunch of like technology in it. So when I broke the windshield, I remember I broke it. I put too much heat. On it. I just cracked it. And I remember that I just kind of stood there and I was like, whoa, what do I do? Oh my gosh. I just looked at it and I was just kind of like, well, just got to man up and just tell the customer what you just did. So again, as a business owner and always trying to give a customer the best experience, I told the customer, I was like, luckily, who knows if it was different, but it was a friend of mine from the boxing gym that knew me, and he took my service. I was at his house, and I just remember that I told him, hey, come outside. He came outside. I was like, hey man, I finished the sides, the back, and everything, but I cracked your windshield. just told him straight up. I was like, but before he could say anything, I was like, look, I already called a glass company. I'm gonna pay for the cracked windshield, and I'm also gonna do the sides and back for free.
Wow.
I'm gonna do everything for free. Like the tint job is on me, just for the inconvenience that happened. So that's what I did. I took the inconvenience, and I think it ended up. I should have tried to see how much the windshield was before I said that. The windshield by itself was like $850, and then my tint job and my labor and material and everything, I spent probably like $400. So it took me like $1,100. And just that was probably, ever since then I haven't cracked anything. So we've been good, but that one time was enough to hurt me, like traumatize me.
Yeah.
So definitely.
You handled it like a professional, though, man.
Got to. That's the only thing you can do. It sucks. Trust me, it sucked. I was like, hey, man, like, but again, you just got to man up and just tell them straight up. Like,
for all the young business owners out there, if you make a mistake, own up to it, take responsibility, cover the costs, and move on.
I think that's in general, though. In general with anything.
Yeah.
Just man up in anything you got to do. Got to man up for the family, man up for the business, man up for your friends, for yourself. Boom, that's simple, right?
It is that. That's another mic drop right there.
Yeah, just.
If you could give a piece of advice to a younger Angel or just someone in their teenage years, what advice would you give?
I give the same advice to everybody that it seems lost and confused and doesn't have they don't have their life situated. I tell them the same thing. Dip your toes in the water. Do everything possible.
Yes.
Because if you do everything, you realize you do everything, you know what you don't like, and you know what you do like. Most people don't know this about me, but I was a Zumba instructor. I was a Zumba instructor for like 3 classes. Again, I was a boxing trainer, and someone was like, "Hey, have you ever done a Zumba class?" I was like, "Yeah, I've taken them before." She's like, "No, have you ever taught one?" I was like, "No." "Would you want one too?" I was like, "Sure. Why not?" I felt like a fool the whole time, but I did it, and I realized I didn't like it. But I have that story now, and I definitely brought a crowd of a lot older ladies. I'll tell you that. I had a bunch of ladies, man. They saw this young little dude.
They were sad when you left.
They were definitely very sad. I had a big crowd for sure, but I just couldn't do it, man. It just wasn't for me. But just dip your toes in the water.
Yeah.
Dip your toes in the water. Do everything. You're gonna hate some things. You're gonna love some things. Again, I started like, yo, you want to do this job? You want to start tinting windows with me? Sure. Why not? Maybe I might like it. I got fired and blah blah. And now I'm an entrepreneur with the same business, same industry that I got fired in, just because I dipped my toes in the water. So, yes, that's how we do it. Just dip your toes in the water.
That's phenomenal advice, man. And something that I think a lot of people need to hear is try new things and don't be afraid if you don't like them. Like, it really is okay. You said 3 classes and then you're off to the next thing. That's okay. I have a laundry list of things that I've tried to get to where I am today.
Yeah,
so
exactly, man.
That was.
You want to take a class right now? We can go right now.
Listen, man.
Want to go do
I already committed to my other friend that's a Zumba instructor.
I haven't done. Hey, I'll come out of retirement to show y'all the Force Media a little fast, man.
Amazing, amazing, man. Well, Angel, brother, thank you for coming on the show today. Make the time out of your schedule to do this. Thank you for being vulnerable and honest, and just giving us a deep dive and look into who you are and how you operate your life and business, man. I'm excited to have you back on in a couple years and see how Resilient Tint has grown. We'll reference this interview today with one from a few years from now and just measure how you've grown, brother. But I appreciate you, man.
That's crazy. Thank you. That's gonna be an interesting time. Can't wait to see it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, brother. My pleasure.
Thank you.
And to everyone out there watching or listening, shout out you guys. Thank you so much for the comments, for the shares, for promoting the show, for the messages, the emails. I greatly appreciated it. As I always say, this is a lot of time, work, and energy to put into this podcast. But without amazing guests like Angel and amazing listeners like you guys, this show, frankly, wouldn't happen. Be resilient. Don't be afraid to dip your toes into the water and try new things. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I will see you next time on another episode of Find Your Edge. Take care.